Hi guys, Bomber and Kid here, coming to you again. And if you hear somebody chuckling in the back, that's just my brother. We're watching something on DVD, so don't worry about that. That's just my brother. Welcome back to my comic review. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys enjoyed Hitting the Classics episode 2. It's up. You can go down memory lane with the titles I put up on there. Hope everybody who did go to New York Comic Con, hope you guys are enjoying it. I know my friend Comic Uno is there, and a couple other friends from Comic Frontline are there. I did say, guys, I tried to get there, but work and things like that, I couldn't go. And Gail is there, and that really just was like, she just tore it out of my heart. Just pulled my heart out. It's like, oh, she's there, and Kelly Sue DeConnick is there. I wanted two women in the industry I want to meet, and I can't meet them. But anyway, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm definitely going to try to go next Comic-Con for next year, definitely. But anyway, let's get right to the review. If you saw my haul video, there's no surprises. Everything is here, so we're just going to get right into it, okay? So we're going to kick it off in Dark Horse Comics, and we're going to kick it off with X, number 18. Dwayne Straczynski still does the writing, and Eric Nugent's artwork for this title is still just gory, noirish, but very impressive, and it works for this title. In this title, this is issue 2 of the Flesh and Blood story arc that's going on. There's a group called the Skin Traders that have occupied Arcadia, and the disciples wear like this pig mask. They wear pig mask, and they seem to be, they don't feel no pain. They're pain receptors, and they beat X down, and they capture X, take him to their boss, who is known as Hind, who in reality is a plastic surgeon. Actually, he's a surgeon, and he does all kinds of tests on X, trying to figure out why X is so special. He actually removes X's mask, skins him, like literally skins him alive, because of the fact that X's immune system, he can heal really fast. He wants to know how he's able to do that. But he's crazy, he's nuts. Does X escape from his grasp? Yes, but at some cost. But he knows it's going to heal, though. But it was really gruesome to see how X escaped from Dr. Hind. Leah is knows that she has to find X as well. But this, like I said, when you're dealing with X, the X series for Dark Horse is bloody, is gory, is gruesome, and you better not be reading this and eating a cheese sandwich. Yeah, but other than that, Dwayne Straczynski still does a good job with this time. Alright, so we move on to Dynamite Comics, one of my favorite indie companies. And I'm going to talk about some of the properties they have late on my main channel soon. I'm going to give my thoughts on Dynamite having the Shaft license and James Bond, so they can do Shaft and James Bond comics. That is badass, but I'll talk about that later. But we're going to Jennifer Blood, Born Again, number 3. I like that cover though. Like I said before in the haul video, if you've never read Jennifer Blood is basically, think Punisher, but in the day when she's not being a gun-towing vigilante, she's nothing but she's a mom. She's a house mom. She's a homemaker. But unfortunately, her vigilante life has caught up with her, and as what's that old saying, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And now she is in LA, and she is on the trail of a copycat who is acting like her. And Jennifer don't like that. And so it's a cat and mouse game trying to catch this imposter, and take her down. Do her stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Jennifer pulls no punches in this, and I'm telling you right now, she does not pull any punches. She wants to take you out. She gonna pop a cap in your ass real quick, and I'm not joking about that. But let me make sure I get the writer down. Stephen Grant does a good job with the writing, and if I butcher the name, Cuber Ball does the artwork, which was really good as well. But Jennifer Blood, Born Again, number 3. Well done. So we move on to Valiant Comics, and the Defying Dr. Mirage, number 2. Like I said, this character debuted in the Shadow Man series. Basically, Dr. Mirage, it's a stage name. That's just a stage name. She's kind of like a reality star, but in reality, she can talk to the dead. She can see the dead. She can cross over to the spirit world and things like that. But the only thing she can't bring back and see is the love of her life, her husband. And she is in the spirit world, and she really starts to investigate some things that's going on there, as well as she starts to realize that not all the spirits there are, are kind. There are some evil spirits there that eat the good spirits. Now, the good spirits know about Dr. Mirage. They know because it's almost like she's so popular, they know that she's the one that can see us, and we can maybe deliver a message to our loved ones and things like that. And a lot of the good spirits actually protect her, take her places where the bad spirits, or they look like gremlins, I'm not even joking, won't hurt her. And the writing is done by Gene Van Meter, and Roberto Della Toro does the artwork. Della Toro's artwork is really good. I've always enjoyed his artwork. But this is a very good series. Once again, Valiant just shows that their comeback has just been so good, and I'm looking forward to more of Dr. Mirage. But you get to see more of her backstory, as well as the man she loved called Shu Fong, I believe that was her name. She's Asian. She's not American. She's Asian. She's Asian American, I think. But like I said, this Dr. Mirage is just a stage name for her reality show. Think like Ghost Hunters, she does, but she can really see spirits and the dead. Okay, so we move on to Image. Almost done with the indie comics, guys. This I got kind of off a whim, in a sense. I was interested in it. I like horror comics from time to time, but then, and I enjoyed Scott Snyder's first horror comic that I read from him, which was The Wake, and I enjoyed that pretty much. And Gail, she was on Twitter. I follow her on Twitter, and she started talking about it. So I'm like, okay. And a lot of other, besides Gail, but other was like, by Scott Snyder's, Witch. And so I did. Wytches. Now this series right here Dwayne Swidinsky and Scott Snyder. Excuse me, I said Swidinsky. Scott Snyder and Jock and Hollingsworth does this are the key for this title. Now, Wytches. This is not like your kind of goofy, kooky, childish Wytches we saw in Hocus Pocus. I love that movie though, but no. This is not the Wytches that turn little kids into mice in Wytches. Like that movie too. This series right here really goes more in depth into the mythos of the witch. And man, is it creepy. The artwork is really dark at times, especially when they're doing the flashbacks, and the first part of it shows it's just really creepy. I don't want to spoil anything about this title. It's extremely not for the faint of heart, and when we get to the modern age of what's going on, it just gets even more creepier. I don't want to spoil it, guys. I really don't. Do yourselves a favor. If you are interested, I recommend you picking up Wytches #1. I'm going to stick with this bad boy and see where this goes, because this issue got me, okay, I want to know what happens next. So, good job for Scott Snyder and the rest of the team. We move on. Back to Valiant Comics with Exo Manowar issue 0. Robert Venditti, Clayman does the artwork. Basically, guys, this is a issue dedicated to who Elric was before he was captured by the Vine and things like that, and when he got the armor. This is just showcasing, this is basically a typical story of showcasing. We've seen this kind of storytelling done before, where we see that the badass didn't always start out as a badass. There was a moment in time where he jumped to that point of being the badass. At times he was just a man who was very fearful. He's fearful. He's scared for his life. He knew that even though he's in a war, his group, the Visigoth, are at war with the Romans. He knew that anytime he can die, and he shows that. He shows he's scared to die, and things like that. And we finally see him make his first kill against a Roman soldier, and shows the weaknesses of the Roman armor as well as the Roman shields and things like that. But it was just a typical story to get set up for the next story arc in the series. But it was good nonetheless. I applaud Mr. Venditti for giving us a look at this version of Elric. But yeah. Alright. So we move on to DC. I have 5 DC books for you. And yeah, we're going to start off with this bad boy right here. This Batgirl number 35. The new creative team takes over. I made Gail Simone a promise and a word of bond and honor that I would read the first 4 issues just for her, because I respect her and I respected her run, and I always applauded her run of Batgirl. All honesty, guys, this was not a strong issue. I'm going to be honest with you. This feels like what they did was take Batgirl and toss her into the Archie universe. The artwork looks a lot like Archie. Barbara is really kind of out of her element in terms of characteristic wise. She's partying a lot and, you know, just playing tonsil hockey with. I'm like, this is not Barbara. What is this? You know, she moves to a different side of Gotham called Burnside. It's supposed to be like the like very nice side of Gotham. Not a lot goes on there. She moves into another area. Black Canary's in this book. Oh my God, she doesn't. Black Canary's like really down on her luck after what happened in Birds of Prey 34. Like, I'm sorry I'm spoiling the hell out of this book, but you know, Black Canary's home was burnt down. Everything that Black Canary owned is burnt, including Barbara's truck. You know, her van that she used, it's burnt down. So basically, the reason why Barbara is wearing this new costume is because of that. And later on, she fights a guy in here who has like a cybernetic eye who likes to download stuff and use it as. It is kind of weird. I'm just saying, not a strong issue in my opinion, guys. Not at all. I don't like the fact that the way they have Barbara acting. You know, she's getting glossed up for a website. You know, a dating site. I'm like, what? This is weird. I know that you're trying something different. I can understand that. I understand that. But when you're not really keeping Babs, the characteristics of Babs, pure, it feels like you're just trying something new to glossing up the kind of grittiness that Gale gave us with her. I mean, there's some characteristics, but then there's just like, this feels too much like Archie comics. And not in a good way, but in a bad way. But, having said that, like I said, I will read the 3 more issues for me. If I don't like them, and right now, I can say straight up, I did not like this first issue. So, you got 3 more tries with me to kind of maybe get me on board. But if not, I will drop this series because this is not the Barbara Gordon Babs that I want to remember. Not at all. It's just how I feel. Moving on to Batman number 35. Like I said, guys, once that 0 year with crap was over, I'm jumping back on. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, Endgame Part 1. First of all, I gotta call DC out on this. How come all the rest of your books are $2.99, but Batman is nearly a $5 book? $5 book. I'm wondering about that. Was this worth $5? No, not in my opinion. It was a good story. It was interesting, and because of the fact that somebody's coming, somebody is returning. Yeah, and you should all know. Now, does this happen? Does Bruce fight the Justice League? Yes. Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Flash, he does fight. Cyborg, they didn't show him, but he does fight them, and he's in the Batbot. He's in the bat suit when he's doing it. But there's a reason why the Justice League are acting this way, and like I said, somebody's coming, and I don't want to give you a clue, but they do something there. It kind of gives us a sense, because Bat is like, he's trying to convince them. He's literally talking to Superman and all of them. He's like, you know, they all start to crack a smile and start to Yeah, somebody's coming back, and the only words that Bruce can say, no, not him. Yes. So Endgame Part 1, it was good, but it's not worth $5. That's all I'm saying. Earth 2, 27. I'm sorry guys, I don't have an Earth 2 counterpart like my mentor. I do have a good friend that's soon gonna show up on my reviews sometime. He's well, if I tell you, I'm gonna have to kill you, or he's gonna have to kill you. But he'll show up soon, and he'll tell you about his line of work. But Earth 2 family reunions. Marjorie Bennett, Taylor, there's so many, Marcus 2, all these people are on board. This does not happen where Helena is fighting her grandfather. This issue is all about family, love, things like that. So we have Helena having some issues with Thomas in terms of trying to believe, is this really my grandfather? Where have you been? I thought you were dead. Things like that. Kara coming to grips with reuniting with what is his name? Vanel, basically, you know, and we get to see that they were kids together and they were friends, things like that. They deal with some, there is some action in here, but it's really still centered around family and love and togetherness and things like that, which was cool, especially in the time that, the era that times that they're in. Like I said, the characters in there is just Batman, Huntress, Power Girl, Van Al, and Red Tornado Lois. I still find that funny that Lois Lane on Earth 2 is the Red Tornado. I find that funny. But other than that, it was pretty good, nonetheless. Green Lantern Corps number 35. This is Act 1, Part 3. This just keeps getting interesting, more interesting by the minute with me, because I'm trying to figure out, what do the new gods want with the color spectrum, but more importantly, what do they want with the White Lantern? That's who they're really after. Highfather is after Kyle. In this, once again, John and a few other Lanterns are investigating a planet where pretty much there are no inhabitants. They find out that they have some inhabitants, and members of the new gods come and try to put them out of their misery. And John confronts them, is like, look, we do things a little differently. We don't just kill if not need to, and you know, there's a confrontation, of course, and it just gets even weirder and weirder, and just like, what do the new gods want? Why are they doing this? And that's the question, really. It's like, why are they doing this? What is their problem? You know, why did they steal different rings from different color spectrums, cores, and why do they want the White Lantern? But John Stewart shines in this issue very much, and I gotta thank who wrote this, Jensen. John Stewart shines, but yeah, that's for the White Lantern. That's what it's really about. And but other than that, Godhead Act 1 Part 3, this is good. I enjoyed this very much. Last but not least, Gathering to Protect the Galaxy, Justice League United, number 5, Jeff Lemire. I tip my hat to you, sir, or my beanie. because you guys, it's all about the Native American character of the group, and you guys know how I am with Native American characters. That's very close to me, and we get to see this character very, very closely. Her name is Mayababin. I hope I'm saying her name. I don't want to butcher it. And she is a member of the what is she? It's a Canadian up in Canada. They are the Moose Cree. That's what they're called. And she's coming to grips of who she is. She finds out that Mayababin basically finds out the fact that she comes from a long line of protectors, and her father was a protector, her grandfather, and so on and so forth, and they protect the Moose Cree people as well as all people from darkness, and as well as the evil threat that is the Wintago. Not Wendigo, not that they don't say it like that, but Wendigo. This really gets real in depth into the Wendigo. And unfortunately for her, her father fell to join the dark side of the Wendigo, and she comes to grips with that and uses her powers to free her father. Her powers are really cool because they change over the course of the different like seasons. It's really cool. It's like she can have this power during when it's ice and snow and things like that during, and it don't matter where she is. But in the meantime as well, Green Arrow, Supergirl, Animal Man, and I think that's it. They go look. They investigate a beacon that once belonged to the late Hawkman. Yes, of guys who don't read Justice League United, Hawkman died. He sacrificed himself to protect the people of Ron, sworn enemy of the Thanagarians. He died, and Green Arrow. His old Justice League of America transmitter was beeping in the form to basically to Hawkman, so they go investigate. But the real stories are based on Mayababin here. Very cool character. I'm looking forward to seeing more of what she can do and the extent of her powers. But it's good to see a Native American character on a high-profile team like the Justice League. Hopefully someday we'll see more on. Hopefully we'll see a Native American character on a high-profile team besides just the X-Men, but on the Avengers. That would make my day. But other than that, this was good. Very good indeed. Alright. Let's move on to Marvel. And we have 5 Marvel books for you. Let's start off with Amazing Spider-Man number 7. Dan Slott, Christos Gage, Kamilico. The team up between Pete and Kamala Khan, the new Ms. Marvel, was interesting. I love the fact that she wanted to know all the details about when Peter dated Carol and what's her favorite color. I thought that was fun. They're facing a Kree soldier, a Kree that is dressed in Carol's old costume and things like that. Nothing really big, high. Cindy has left Peter's apartment, thank God, because I couldn't take them it was almost like I want to just say, like, anytime there, I'm like, keep your goddamn hormones in check. It's like, is her pheromones that powerful that anytime Peter gets near her, they want to play tonsil hockey? I'm like, god damn, like, really? Rick, come on. So she kind of leaves, and I'm kind of happy. I'm like, you know what, go leave, I don't care. You know, all honesty, if she dies in Spider-Verse, she dies. And I hate to sound like Ivan Drago, but if she dies, she dies. I don't care. I really don't. She has not given me any reason to care about her. I'm sorry. I don't. And then we get to see a backstory of Spider UK, this character down here, who is actually a member of the Captain Britain Corps. He is actually a relative. He's a relative of the Braddock bloodline. So he is related to Captain Britain, Ryan Braddock, Elizabeth Braddock, aka Psylocke, and of course their other brother. I'm always forgetting their older brother. But he's seeing all that's going on in the other verses. Like, he sees the Spider-Man from the Spider-Man and his Amazing Friend universe, and Morlun just kills that Spider-Man, as well as kills. You literally see Bobby and Angelica just beaten down, busted up, and Ms. Lying is just howling. It's just like, oh man. And he realizes that he needs to do something, so he travels. He's on his way to travel into. So we're probably going to see him more in Spider-Verse. But it was interesting. I do like his costume. It kind of, you know, gives that British feel. You know, he has the kind of the Union Jack look to it. Really cool. And it's cool that he's a member of the Braddock family. I think that's cool. His real name is Billy Braddock. But other than that, this was an okay issue. Like I said, nothing really special, but I did like the fangirl moment that Kamala was having with Spider-Man. You know, she's still young, so, you know, she's like, you know, any superhero that comes away, oh my god, she's like, oh my god, you're Spider-Man. Oh, it's like, you know, it's cool. Avengers number 36, Hickman. Sir, Mr. Hickman, your run of Avengers ends next year, if I'm not mistaken. And with these issues now, I'm constantly scratching my head like, what the hell is going on here? And to this day, I read this. I took this to work and read this. And then I read it again just right now. I'm trying to wrap my head like, what is going on? Like, I know this is supposed to take place 7 months from now or something, but it's just like, okay, this is, I left, you know. There's like some suicide mission Thor and Ex-Nihilo and Hyperion are going on, and then basically it's a suicide mission. They're not coming back, and it's just getting there. But that's Hickman for you. He makes you think, and like I said, I'm a little confused by that though. Issue 1 of Axis, guys. Rick Mirender and Adam Kubert. Gotta love those Kubert brothers with their good artwork. All honesty, this was pretty good. This was okay. Not bad. It's good to see a clear-cut villain. Once again, we got a clear-cut villain, and we got probably one of the biggest clear-cut villains you can think of. Red Skull, but he is now known as, this is the Red Onslaught. And it's good to see the X-Men and Avengers come together to battle this. Not going to spoil a lot for you guys, but we do get to see the X-Men come, some of the X-Men basically come back together in terms of, as my mentor Gabi would say, Dick Summers, his brother. You know, we get to see that, and even like we get to see them come back together, and the X-Men and Avengers working together to battle this threat. The ending really is like, oh shit, that really caught me off guard. But other than this, not bad for the first issue. Let's see where this goes. Guys, I will not be getting any of the other tie-in titles to this Axis. I'm just going to get the main story and tie-ins to books that I read. That's it. I'm not getting Axis, what was the one they called? Axis Revolutions. I'm not getting Axis Hobgoblin or Axis Carnage and things like that. No, I'm not getting any of those. But I must admit, this was not bad. Not bad at all. Oh boy, man, this is very heartwarming. Nightcrawler, number 7. This ties into Death of Wolverine. Marguerite Bennett actually is the plot. She is the plot on this. Chris Claremont is the script. This is just basically hearing from Nightcrawler what he thought of Wolverine, his feelings for Wolverine, his love for Wolverine, everything. As you all know, there are some great friendships in the X-Men. Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus. Those three had a great bond, and this was just really, really touching and really heartwarming to hear. You know, basically, it's kind of funny because it's like Nightcrawler just came back. Now Wolverine is gone. A good friend is somebody that he loved. He says it in the book. I loved him. You know, despite everything, you know, all the pain and suffering he's gone through in his life, I loved him. And he's touched so many people in his life. Really good stuff. Really good storytelling by Mr. Claremont and Miss Bennett. No relation. Just really had you like, you really can understand Nightcrawler's love for Wolverine. And it's kind of interesting because next week is the last part to Death of Wolverine, and we get to see how this warrior goes out. Yeah, this was good. I enjoyed this very much. Thank you, Mr. Claremont and Miss Bennett. Last but not least, we end this with The Punisher, number 11. Nathan Edmondson and Mitch Gerads, I hope I'm saying your name right, does the artwork. So Frank is in a Costa Rican prison. He was dropped off there by Black Widow to gain some info on the gang that's in LA. Since he has left LA, it's gone all to hell. And it comes to realize that maybe LA needs Punisher. Even Rachel Coles even tells him that. Somebody that Frank knows, who she even went down the path of Frank during Rucka's run of Punisher. Does Frank get out of the prison? Yes, of course he does. And he makes his way back to the States. And we get to see that other individuals that were kind of a part of this kind of changed because of it and need to step up to the plate, in a sense. The new Howling Commandos are up to no good. And some of them are actually even questioning what are they doing. But other than that, Edmondson's, like I said, still does a good job with the title. there was even one point in here where Frank even says, I think I'm going to call it quits. He says he will give up being Punisher. That right there nearly, I almost did a double take. Like, really, Frank? Are you serious? You gonna give up being Punisher? And Rachel Cole's, somebody that Frank says I can trust, he can trust, basically calls bullshit on that. It's like, you bullshitting. You won't do it. But yeah, this is good. There you have it, guys. Those are the books that I have for this week. Once again, coming up near the end of the month soon. Soon's coming. So I will be doing the raffle. So far, all the people who left comments and gave their thoughts on the books they got in the last issue, you guys are all entered in the secret, basically the sweepstakes, basically in the raffle. The gift, I know exactly what it is. I'm not telling you guys what it is. So whoever wins, you're just gonna be surprised at what it is. That's how my raffle will go. My surprise giveaway will go. But I will be giving out the name at the end of the month. The last review of the month, which is soon coming up. But I will. Whoever wins, you're gonna like the gift. But like I said, it's coming. So all those who wrote on, you're entered. And other than that, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace and love. Stay tuned. Keep it real, guys. As always, I'll see you guys next time with another review. Take care. Ta-ta. Subscribe to me. Follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook as well. Don't forget my mentor, one of my best friends, my brother from another mother, Blue Goblin. Follow him, Blue Goblin, BlugoblinX, as well as all the other friends that do comic reviews, you name them. Other than that, you guys take care, and I will see you guys next week. Ta-ta for now. Peace, guys.